can start a company, but are you going to be that person? It takes a lot of work, and people don't understand that. When you're better off, maybe being an entrepreneur for Brad, maybe being an entrepreneur for Patrick, and then maybe getting a piece of a multi-billion-dollar company, or maybe $100 or $200 million company. But just people, I think it's ego that gets in that way. So that's one of the things that I like to teach at Driven. Like there's a lot of things that you have to have. You have to have your resources. Like I believe you need 3 years of reserves for your business. If you don't have that, you're in trouble. Because anytime you could have something like coronavirus wipe you out. And I learned throughout my studies, my experience, and paying millions of dollars for mentors. Obviously you need sales, because without sales, I saw your meeting with your salespeople. You did a great job, by the way. Like it looks like everybody's enrolled, paying attention, but without sales, you have no business. But then what do you need? You also need to train, which you were doing a great job over there. So sales, training, and then people want to market, but they fail to realize you need your systems in place, operations. And with all those 4 components, like it's going to be hard for you to blow up. And then what do you do when you start making a lot of money? How do you not pay taxes? How do you leverage with your credit? How do you start investing that money into real estate? I learned that. So that's a lot of the stuff we cover at Driven, and we teach people, young entrepreneurs.
And then you coach them.
Yeah.
Especially in the Latino market. Like I was looking the other day, dude, you're getting like a bunch of hits on YouTube. You're interviewing all the big wigs. You're quite the name, especially in the Latino community.
But that's because I never quit. Because remember in the beginning, people used to make fun of my YouTube. They used to be like, oh, he doesn't even have 1,000 subscribers and this guy sucks and he's not an interviewer. And now I have videos with hundreds of thousands of views. You know, now it's just on the upcoming, and I see it now growing exponentially. Every morning I wake up and I have like 10,000 more views on my YouTube channel. And I have like subscribers are just stacking up right now. So in the beginning, it's hard to go from 0 to 1,000 subscribers. And then it's really hard to get to 2,000 subscribers. But as long as you don't quit and you believe in your product and you believe that you're really helping people, providing value, then it's going to grow. But most people just stop when they're only 1 inch away from, getting that victory.
What about all of us old dogs? We're old. How old are you?
I turned 37 a couple months ago.
See, you're almost old too, dude.
Yeah.
So you're old. You're old. I'm young. Routine's gonna have to end soon.
Yeah.
I mean, three more years, dude. You'll be 40. Then what?
I will be a billionaire by 40. I know that.
By 40?
Yeah.
Damn, folks, you guys heard it here. Now, see, follow Albert just to make sure we can support his endeavors and get him to $1 billion. And also, while you're at it, follow me and help support me. What do you think about people that are bummed out about your success?
I have nothing bad to say about anybody. Like I really respect everybody. Like I forgive, but I don't forget. So the biggest way for me to pay back to the people that made fun of me or didn't believe in me or didn't want to collaborate with me is going to be through my success. And I wish nobody but the best. And if somebody, like sometimes people ask me, what do you think of this person, that person? I'm not the type that talks bad about anybody. I just always have something positive to say about everybody. So I wish everybody the best, but if I can never help, I'm here to help. But like I said, I have very good memory, so I don't forget things.
So you went bankrupt, or you were going to. You're sleeping in a Ford Explorer. Still stayed with you. You were selling shit out of Starbucks. Mortgages?
Yeah.
And then fortunately the mortgage started going well, or do you think because you quit doing coke and being a, I don't want to say scumbag, because again, I mean, some people, I know good people that are just making mistakes. You know what I'm saying? Doing coke doesn't make you a scumbag. It just makes you naive.
Yeah, I mean, I could only speak based on my experience, but I know billionaires that do coke.
Of course.
And they're billionaires, but that's why you have to have a purpose in my eyes. And I just don't feel like I wouldn't be able to do coke and look at my little daughters, You're not.
Yeah, but can you imagine you on coke?
No.
Well,
no,
you'd be really driven. You'd be extra driven, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Yeah. But
You think you'd but see, here's the thing, and I agree too, because I've done coke, weed, I've done some things. I don't do anything anymore only because I feel the same way. Number one, I just think it deteriorates your being.
yeah.
Drugs.
Yeah.
I think it removes. I think it. You're trying to run from something that bothers you. Now, some people say, "No, I just like the way it feels." Whatever. To each his own. All I know is I wouldn't recommend it for anybody. But I would say that coke specifically, dude, you get heavy into coke, it's only a matter of time before you lose. So these billionaires doing coke, I bet you they're losing money, they're losing relationships, they're losing seriously without people knowing because there's so much buffer.
Yeah.
So it's like you think they're winning because they're billionaires. Well, I thought you said, if you do coke, you're going to lose. Well, again, how do you know that billionaire is not draining currently?
Yeah.
And I guarantee your relationships are being screwed up. His health is being screwed up. It's not a good thing, no matter if you're a billionaire.
Yeah. I mean, based on my experience, like I feel 100% of what you said. Like you just can't. Like your skin starts looking weird. Your heart rate is off. Like
It's no good.
yeah, it's just like I wouldn't recommend that
Now,
to anybody.
what if you met somebody really influential, really cool, and you admired the shit out of them, and they were out, you guys were out, and they said, "Here, take a bump."
I would separate myself.
No, they say, "Hey, dude, little coke for you."
I would not do that. It would be the last time that I would.
Yeah, but you'd decline. But would you go out with that person anymore?
No,
How come?
because you will kind of you become who you hang out with, and this is something I learned in the beginning, when I first met you. Like I wanted to be around you. I remember like I didn't purchase your Lightspeed services. I purchased your friendship, and then
Well, again, that was like a long time ago. You need to re-up.
I'll re-up it. And then you introduced me to new people, and then I invested in their friendship. So most people, they go to seminars, spend money on that stuff. I invest money in friendships. Like I make everybody my friend. Like all these people that have been at Driven event, all these people that I've interviewed on YouTube, they become my friends. Like boxers, celebrities, big people like Kiyosaki and all these other people.
Aren't people doing this now to you too, that you coach?
Yeah, because they saw that it works, so now they're doing it. And the coaching thing, it's something that I don't do anymore. I used to, but in the beginning, somebody messaged me and said, "Hey Albert, can you coach me?" And I said, "Well, I don't really coach," but he said, "Come on, just coach me. I just need 3 hours of your time." And I said, "Okay, fine, 5,000." This guy sends me 5,000. He gives me his credit card, swipe it, $5,000 for 3 hours, and then people kept on hitting me up. "Oh, you're coaching." So I said, "Okay, well, let me do it." This is like 3 years ago that I started doing that. Then I upped it to 15 grand for 3 hours, and people kept buying it. And then they got to a point where the revenue of the company, all the companies that we have 4 companies, just started blowing up, and they needed me more. So I don't have time to be coaching people because it takes me away from my main $1 billion company.
How has the mortgage industry been affected by COVID?
Look, this is why it's very important for people to have cash flows of income. Like for example, like I have TMG Mortgage, guys, Ambiance. That's a second cash flow, Driven event, Driven bootcamp, Driven coaching, Driven academy, Driven real estate investing. Even YouTube makes me money. Credit repair, processing, escrow that we just opened, and now we're a new one that I told you about yesterday, Driven fitness. We're starting a gym, so everything that happens, I take the positive. So they closed down the gyms. I'm opening my own gym now, Driven fitness, and I'm always looking for new flows, and that is what saved me in my businesses when they were going out, that I had different flows of income. So my mortgage company, it started making a lot of money, and I had the real estate company, and I had Driven. Driven did really good with the COVID, and Ambiance, my real estate company, took a hit. So for 2 months, it was pretty much dried because you can't do open houses, you can't go and you can't talk to people. You have to do it like you can't. Nobody wants to buy a house because of nobody knew what was going to happen. Everybody was panicking. So real estate sales, they dropped. But guess what? Mortgage guys, 100x, because everybody and their mama wanted to refinance. Everybody needed to pull out cash. Everybody wanted to get a lower rate because rates went all the way down. So because I had a lot of different flows, options, whatever worked, I doubled and tripled down on it. And I made the most money I've ever made after Corona than my entire life before.
And what was everyone trying to get you to believe about COVID?
Well, people watch the news and they're saying it's dangerous. You're gonna die. You're gonna get COVID. You're gonna expose your little girls. You're gonna expose your parents. And I said, well, I don't care. Like I'm either gonna get the COVID and die of the COVID, or I'm gonna die getting broke and not being able to pay the bills for my daughters and feeding them, and or giving money to my parents, or keeping my employees employed. So I said, I'm gonna have everybody come back to work. I tried the work from home 2 weeks. Didn't work out. People at home, they're listening to negative family members. They're watching the news. They're rolling out of bed. That doesn't work for me. And I'm paying them. And the corona's going on. I told Sale, look, we're going to bring him back to the office. If I get sued, I'll have money to pay them. But I'm going to go down fighting if I go down fighting. I'll go down with corona, but I'll fight. And I did that. And everybody that I brought back to the corporate office, they've gotten their biggest bonus checks ever in their life because of the way we've just took off. So,
And the fact that you're working and most of them are scared home working virtually.
yeah,
Do you think if I should bring back all my employees right now?
absolutely.
You think I should make an announcement that says all employees must work at the building from now on, or you don't work here?
Absolutely. If not, like you said they could go look for a different job.
How would you tell people that?
I would tell them that we believe in here at Lightspeed and working in the office, working in this office environment. You're going to take precaution. You're going to have maybe put your little stickers 6 feet apart, get some Lightspeed masks. And if they want to wear it, they could wear it, but they don't have to wear it. And just know the laws here in Nevada, because they might be different than California in your industry.
Well, they can't be worse than California.
Well, if I'm doing that, you should be fine. But real estate, anything where transactions get recorded, real estate, it's considered an essential job. So I heard it.
So as a media company.
There you go. I twisted it, and I just kind of made it broad. I'm like, okay, let's go work. And like I said, well, if anybody can sue you for anything now. So if you're gonna get sued, you're gonna get sued. But they've been making their biggest paychecks ever. So if people want to come work right now, keep in mind that most people are scared and hiding and eating their Cheetos watching Netflix. When you come over here and you work, you're working against nobody because they're not working, and you guys take over the whole your whole space. So, I mean, I think just give them the option. If they don't want to come back to work, then they could just keep collecting their $400 a week if they still have that.
That's a bomb. That's right, folks. Now, here's the question. Why do you feel so strongly that they are more productive at work? Because of the fact that they're in a better environment?
Yes.
And that's 100% a good, perspective, good angle.
Yeah. We've built a culture in our office, and we've ever since we announced we're opening a gym, we're doing this, people have been working from the office, and then numbers have been going up because it's something about the environment and the culture. It just makes people better. Like when I hang out with positive people, I'm positive. When I hang out with millionaires, I became a millionaire. Now I'm hanging out with billionaires because I know that I'll become a billionaire. It just happens. It's weird.
Yep. Well, I can't deny. I wish I could. I wish we could have a debate here, Albert, but we always agree on most things, don't we? What's one thing you and I don't agree on? Do you know of anything?
I'd have to think about it.
Yeah, because a lot of times we'll shoot the shit, and believe it or not, the things we're talking about today, it's a fact. All of the things that you hear out in the world, generally speaking, of course, like, success leaves clues. They do. Like action causes like result. If you do what Albert did, I'll bet you. Now, again, not all people, but most people would have a like effect, a like result. What do you think about that? You think it was because you're cool and, you're Albert, or if anybody did what you did, they would make it too?
Yeah, but it's all going to depend on your level of pain tolerance. Because most people, they think that they're going to do what I did, what you did, and it's not going to be, and it's going to be, a process where it won't be painful, but it's really painful. Like you go through ups and downs, and you have to be able to tolerate pain. Because person that tolerates more pain, people that keep more self-improving, people that just never quit no matter what, those are the people that make it. Because everybody, like, have you ever met somebody, or has somebody ever left your company because
Sure.
they said, "Fuck Brad, like I'm smarter than him. I think I could do what Brad's doing and open up my own shop."
Nothing so far.
Is it hard to create another Lightspeed?
Yes.
So has somebody ever said, "Well, I'm gonna take my content off of Lightspeed and
Not
go put it on my own platform. I'm gonna create my own platform."
one person wanted to. One person tried to build their own platform at one point in time. So if you're asking, but they weren't employees. No employees ever left here thinking that they can do this because they'd know better. But there's people that tried to do this because they saw it and heard of it,
Yeah.
and then tried to replicate it. But they've long been out of business. Of course, I've been doing this 20 years, so it's a long journey. But
So
your point is valid.
yeah. So something really quick. I know you have to run to another meeting, but I want to talk about Driven Academy really quick. The reason why I got in, once I got to know you, because I paid you for your friendship, but then once I got to learn what you really do, I started saying, wait, why don't I always like to go to the best in their fields, and you're the best in virtual training. And I said, this guy knows what's up. This guy, you know, I feel like Grant wouldn't be where he is without you. I feel like Grant was going traveling a lot, doing a lot of workshops in person, and he wasn't really there for family and other things that were more important. And I know how that feels. So I feel like without you, he wouldn't be where he's at right now. And because I studied him like 8 years, 7 years, 10 years ago. Like I know everything about him, and I studied everybody very good. I studied you very well. Like I know everything about you, like sleeping in the beach, what you were doing 7 years ago, 8 years ago. Like it's kind of weird in a way, but I study people so well because I want to know everything about him. So I knew you were the guy. Once I studied you after I paid you for your friendship, and I said he could do the same thing for me, but quicker than what he did for Grant. So I said, okay, Cardone University, Driven Academy. Let me just fly with Brad, and every time I'm hanging out with him, I'll pull something. If I could give him an extra drink, pull some more info, let's do it. And hey, what you do in this scenario? Oh, I did this. Okay. I would, and you know how good I execute. I go back and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna hire this. We're doing this. Oh, forget about that. Brad said to do this. Let's do it. Now, Driven Academy, just for 2 years, I never used it. Now it's doing 60 grand a month minimum, sometimes more. And 60 grand a month is not a lot of money, but it's a side little extra income that comes in that allows me to use it for other things. It pays for my lifestyle and more. Like it's just extra money. And I don't even run ads. You said run ads, do this. Guess what I'm going to do when I go back home? I'll come back next month and I'll be making a quarter million a month from Driven Academy. But because you are an expert in that field, I just trust you blindfold. So if you tell me to do something, I'll go do it and I'll come back and improve Albert. Remember the first time you had me on the live here with Grant, I was shaking. My confidence, the way I speak wasn't there. And just because I execute is what makes the difference. So you tell me to do something, I go out there and do it. And without Driven Academy, I don't think I would have made these big strides because Driven Academy is coronavirus proof. It's recession proof. When recessions happen, people want to learn. So I want to give you thanks for that.
Sure. Well, dude, that's the business I'm in. It's my pleasure. We'll do more business. Folks, I don't know if you guys are following Albert, but it's the Albert Preciado, Preciado. Where do you hang out? Instagram?
Well, people could just Google me, Albert Preciado,
What's your YouTube channel? Driven?
Driven Channel, Driven CH.
Driven CH. You got that thing blowing up. You got people viewing left and right. You're starting to interview, like fly around and interview these big name people.
I'm going to be with Andy Frisella and Tom Bilyeu next couple of weeks.
See, Andy knows his shit. Tom Bilyeu's been around. He knows his shit. See, folks, follow Albert and follow what he's doing if you guys want to succeed. I know that everything you just said, if you hit rewind and listen to it again, write down exactly what he said. The one at the end was the most important. You said you go and you execute. Because without the action, dude, folks, we can be students forever and we can, talk about it forever. But until you do it, until you do something, nothing's going to change. Know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And Brad, if I could add one last thing, one quick thing, something that I left out that people could look me up and get more information is on if I wouldn't have invested in real estate, I wouldn't be here either. Because when I started my business, my first business, mortgage guys, I was close to going out of business hundreds of times. Every time I would get into trouble, I would pull out money from my properties. I would sell a property. And I started buying 4-unit little properties, 4-unit apartments, 4-unit apartments. I accumulated a lot of them, which when I sold, my net was $2 million plus.
So, is now still a good time to do that?
I think the best time to buy is starting 2021. I'm going to go buy in Arizona. And there's a lot of other places to buy. California is probably not the best. But if you are in California, you got to start where you're at. So you got to start in California. Always start where you're at and start small. Never start big. People tell you to start big. Don't listen to that nonsense. You got to start small. You got to start with your own money. And if you don't own a property right now, go get a FHA loan, 3.5% down. That's nothing. You could borrow it from a credit card. You could borrow it from a friend. Put those 3.5% down. Get yourself 4 units, up to 4 units. Because once you go past 4 units, it's a commercial. Learn the small game first. And once you make those millions, then go get your commercial, your big deals with your own money and keep all the profit. Because remember, you're either gonna give people your savings. They're gonna make the big profit. You're gonna get a little piece. They're gonna get the paddock. I teach people how you build your own real estate portfolio, and you buy yourself your own paddock. You make your own self rich. So if it would have been for that, I wouldn't be here because I wouldn't have had those reserves or that money to save my business. And that's one of the key components that we teach at Driven Event, which you're going to be part of, Brad. And it's going to be an amazing opportunity for people, entrepreneurs, whether you own a business, want to start a business, or want to scale your business, to go learn everything that I paid millions of dollars to all my mentors in one day and just get it for the price of one. So I'm really excited. I'm really excited to have you there because you've been a very, very instrumental person in my life and my entrepreneurship career. And you're one of the reasons why I give my family the life that I give them today and why I'm able to inspire a lot of people in the universe. So
how do they get tickets?
DrivenEvent.com.
DrivenEvent.com, folks. Go get your tickets.
Or send me an Instagram DM. I answer all my DMs.
Yeah, and tell them you came from the bomb squad so he knows what's cracking.
For sure.
Folks, share this out. If it's not for you, someone might need to hear it. Until next time.